All right, so next step, as I mentioned before, was going to be assembly. So that's what we're going to do. I got thinking about it the other night, came out, sort of just did a little bit of a dry fit. Discovered a small little challenge. I realized that I got ahead of myself on something. Something I hadn't fully worked out yet. But got excited about it, so went ahead and did it anyway. But in my haste and my not thinking and not having really planned it thoroughly, I wouldn't say we made a mistake, but we did make a mistake. But it's fixable, it's doable, and we'll cover that. But in the meantime, I'm going to start showing you assembly. We did a little dry fit to sort of figure things out first, and then we'll go ahead and get things started. Okay, so we're going to get things started here. So we've got our corner pieces. And the thing that I was trying to figure out is, I was trying to remember on the long side and the short side, as we talked about, the way that's designed, the current one is, one side comes in, one side panel comes in, and one side butts up against it. And what I was trying to remember, and I looked out at the planter box, which side does, where does this land? Does this side butt up against the long side, or does it butt up against the short side? So I was trying to figure that out the other day. So we did a little dry fit. So I put the long side down. There's the short side over here. So I was trying to play with it. Do I do the long side in that way? And then the short side this way? Is that really how it's going to work? Does that cover it enough? Should I go this way? I really felt like, and looking at it too, that there's the most coverage this way with the long board running all the way in to the short butt, and then this side going like this. Or in reverse. Oops, I got this laid out long. Which side should be down? In this case, it looks something like this. This is roughly look. Two sides are going to look like. I thought, all right, well that works. That can work. I thought, what does our shelf look like? That's going to stick out. I put it in here. And there's a problem. Yeah, this is 14 inches. Realistically, it needs to be 14 and a half. Okay, why? Because it needs to be the 14 plus the ½ inch to make it all the way to the edge. Now, could I use it like this? Because those gaps will be hidden a little bit behind that. But there'll be this little corner thing that will be open. I don't know. So, it's a mistake. But I actually purposely, when I did this, I was thinking about it when I designed this. I'm like, let's get the box built, and then once it's built, then I can measure these out exactly to make sure I know exactly what they're going to be. So I kind of forgot that that's what I was going to do. When I got excited, I was like, oh, I could just cut these shelf pieces 1.5 inches. It'll be great. So, and then of course I also did the problem with the top, in that, I'm not sure if you can see that. This piece should run corner to corner. It's 14 inches. Problem is this actually should be 15 and a half because the inside is 14 and a half inches. It's another ½ inch on either end, so it's 15 and a half. So my ½ inch by ½ inch needs to be 15 and a half inches long, not 14. So it's a mistake. I spent some time, making these, but it's definitely something that can be overcome and solved. And I'll show you how we're going to do that later. But that's sort of what we're going to do, sort of we're going to dry fit. I got to fit it a little bit better, make sure we're all good. Make sure we get the ½ inch on the bottom for the step, for the feet, and then figure out how we're going to lay these in. I remember I got to figure out the little strips that are going to go in here, which are going to support the interior floor. It's going to go in here. In fact, I might use these. I might just lay those in there. And that will support the floorboards. It will go like this. And that's what I'll do. See, thinking on the fly here. These will be perfect for that. Perfect. Nothing wasted. All right. So I'm going to do through a few things to get ourselves set up to start to actually assemble these things. And then we'll go forward. So one of the things I'm doing now is I'm laying out all the face sides, the nice sides of the boards that belong to one of planter boxes. And what I want to do is I want to find sort of the radius 4 that will go inside the planter box and be the base, number 1. Number 2, I want to try and match up 4 the best that I can that are similar colors or grains or whatever, so that each side looks roughly similar boards, and not so dramatically different. So that's what I'm trying to lay out now. The knots, I'm not great thrilled on the outside, but on the inside that could also be a problem. So I'm definitely seeing this as a baseboard. Probably this just because it's pretty rough. That sort of matches that. That grainy. I might put the knot in the base. One more base. I think this one, although it's got this sort of darker colors that match those. This one's got a bit of a knot, but it's not too bad. I think I'm going to put this. These would be our interior baseboards. Now I need to match up sort of color and those are all kind of nice. That's kind of a nice grouping there. Those are some nice colors there. That looks all right. We got this sort of grouping maybe. Yeah, I think those will work. So we got our 4 box side groupings. We got our 4 for the base. Yeah. I think we're good. All right. All right, so then we're gonna do a few more little layout things and then get going.